been working on the unit about the horror genre. We've defined what the horror genre is and what it isn't. We've had the opportunities to read a lot of scary stories, which you guys love. And today you get a chance to showcase what it is that you've learned throughout the course of this unit. We are going to work in our centers. We have different tasks at each center. You guys will move from center 1 here. What is the horror genre? Center 2, theme, and center 3, you get to do some writing, some creative writing. I had 3 different centers. The first center, the students were given the elements or the characteristics of the horror genre. What makes a horror story a horror story? They first had to go back to their literary criticism, and I think it's important for them to read literary analysis and criticisms, not just all literatures and short stories and poems, but they had to go back to that literary criticism, highlight the elements of a horror story first, and then they applied that to Frankenstein. They were asked to go back into that, it was a poem actually, and they had to find elements of the horror genre in that poem. So they were asked to analyze and tell me what it is that made Frankenstein a true horror story. So that was the first center. The second center dealt with theme. They were given the theme of the poem that you should not judge someone by their appearance. The character in the story was blind, so he was unable, the old man who befriended Frankenstein was blind. He was unable I know that they will have to extend the ending. They'll have to rewrite endings and different things of that nature, use the same voice, the same tone, the same mood as the author. So in the narrative task, I gave them the option of choosing one of the 3 horror stories that we read so far, The Monkey's Paw, The Telltale Heart, and Frankenstein, and to rewrite or extend the ending using the same voice as the author. We're working on citing textual evidence. That's one of the top standards, citing textual evidence, because the students aren't accustomed to doing it. They like to just answer questions, and when you ask, how do you know? Well, because I know, it's in the book. So we're working hard on that citing textual evidence, going back, giving me line numbers in the text it states, directly supporting your response with evidence from the text. Now, and it says evidence from Frankenstein. What does it tell you about the way Frankenstein looked? How do you know he was a monster? You're giving me evidence from the text to support the fact that Frankenstein was not a human, okay? So
in the first box, and in line 20, it states that he had no intention to hurt the old man.
It was his heartbeat.
His idol.
Oh yeah, the one, like the little eye of the vulture thing. Like how he looked, how he started with the little eye of the vulture.
Our neighbors outside looking and wondering what's going on. Because remember, it was neighbors all around.
Yeah, because you remember they had heard the sound when the old man was struggling.
Yeah.
How many of you guys enjoyed the narrative task where you have the opportunity to extend one of the stories?
Me.
And one of the good things in that literary criticism, it said that one of the good things about a horror story is that not all of the time the author ends the story the way in which the reader would like. So I'm glad that some of you guys were upset by the ending. I remember reading Telltale Heart and Monkey's Paw as a student thinking, yeah, right, they are not going to end the story like that. Now that everyone has completed all 3 tasks, in the upper right-hand corner, I want you to give it a 1, 2, or 3. Which one of those tasks do you think were the most difficult? And this is your opinion. You don't have to agree with the people in your group. Which one do you think was the most difficult? Which one do you think was moderately difficult? And which one was the least difficult? I do a lot more facilitating now than actual teaching. I'm amazed at what the students are able to just grasp when everything is laid out and everything is organized properly and it makes sense to them. It's presented in a way that it makes sense to them. I really don't have to do as much teaching as I've done in the past. It's not QAR, you know, these are all of the 4 question types. These are the words that you look for, these stems, and it's not that anymore.
Today's lesson, it was good. We was easy and it was hard for some kids because you have to think and you have to write. Some people didn't really put specific vocabulary in their writing skill that they should have to. So I can say as us working on the theme of the ending of putting the ending to the story, that was kind of easy because every kid would like to have a right, because like in movies some must be like, oh, why did that happen at that ending? That ending was bad. Some people want some exciting ending, some good, some probably bad, like between a monkey ball. I mean, I feel like the ending was very kind of not right because it's a spirit, somebody knocking at the door. We would want to know who was that spirit knocking at the door. Who was it? Was it her or her son?
I really, really, really see my students doing well for themselves in life. I see them going past a lot of the stereotypes that people have about them. I see them going past a lot of people's expectations and really making something for themselves.
Any administrator, I can say, in any school, in any form, be patient and just be relentless and set those expectations and make sure that they come up. And those that won't, you support them, you support them, you support them. And then if they don't, then you have to do what you have to do as an administrator.